What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the United States of Arsenal. Um, whew, we have so much. It's your boy Abe back, and we do got a special guest. Go ahead, man. Introduce yourself. Tell us, where you're from. How long you've been an Arsenal fan. Who got you to Arsenal? Who's your boy
Mm.
now? Go ahead, man. Tell us about you.
I'm Daniel. I'm 17, aspiring sports journalist, and Arsenal has been a big part of my life for the past. I'd say I mean probably the last 4 or 5 years. I was always an Arsenal fan. If anyone asked me what team I'd support, I'd say it's Arsenal. But I didn't properly get into Arsenal until I was probably 2013, I think. So a lot of my
Okay.
Arsenal journey was watching players like Giroud, watching players like Sanchez, Cazorla, all them kind of
Yeah.
players, and giving me like FA Cup memories. And yeah, but over the years, watching back, I'd probably say my two favorite players. I'll give one from now and one from the past.
All right.
Obviously, one's got to be an invincible. Dennis Bergkamp, number 10, iconic,
Yeah.
the Flying Dutchman himself. And right
Underrated.
now, I'd probably say, yeah, 100%. I mean, in my opinion, the goals look nice, but the assists are just that much better.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And from right now, I'd say, as you can see behind me, Martinelli. What a player he was. What is it, 6 million, I think we bought him for? And now he's
Yeah.
probably one of the top left wingers in the league. Like, it's insane. The business that
So
Arsenal have done.
dangerous.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
so dangerous.
he's just his movement with the ball. Obviously, I think he needs to work a little bit with, his movement off the ball, but it seems like he's kind of working on that with Jesus now in the side and
Mm.
Odegaard clicking. But man, when he has that ball on his foot, it's just like you look at every defender, and I don't think there's been besides like, bro, I feel like Martinelli, like when we play against some championship sides or some League One sides, like that's the
Yeah, he
only
doesn't
time I think
perform.
yeah, his he dips, bro, but he makes every
Like,
like mid right back look top class, bro, and that's what he did with Spence, and
like
then that's how
Oxford
Spence
United.
got his.
What happened? What happened to at Oxford United for Martinelli? He just didn't work out. They went to bring on Smith Rowe. That was all right. But and then against Liverpool when he won 3-2, he had Trent on in a split essentially. No,
Right,
he had Trent in an they all say that defender's gonna pocket a winger. Martinelli pocketed Trent, man. He
right,
spun
right,
him
right, right.
every time down that side. Trent was finished.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And that's
yeah.
what led
But
to the goal in the second minute.
the what?
Insane.
Oh, the Liverpool
The
goal in
goal
the
in the
second
second
minute.
minute. Yeah.
Woo. Yeah, blistering, man. Well, cool, man. Thank you for joining us. I guess me. Ernie will probably join us later. We'll see. But
Mm.
here's the thing, man. I live in stateside, right? I'm from the United States. I'm not hearing all of the rumors and all of the news that you hear right there, based in London. So
Miss London.
you're
Yep.
gonna be my in the know, bro. I'm gonna come to you.
Yeah.
Um, First of all, tell me how you feel about Mudryk. Tell me how you feel about the whole situation. What happened? Do you think it's money affected? Do you think that it's just Shakhtar being Shakhtar? Because the boy was twerking, you know what I mean? Like he wanted to come here.
Yeah.
Um, how do you feel
Every
about the whole
Instagram story it
situation?
was Arsenal, Arsenal, Arsenal. Mm. Well, Mudryk, where do I start? Obviously, for the past what's the date today? 15 days we've been chasing Mudryk, even longer. So we've been watching the compilations as fans. We've been seeing updates from Mudryk himself on Instagram, twerking for us on Twitter or Shakhtar.
Yeah,
There were stupid posts. We've been seeing them like tease the fans, see what's going to come up, and then now for him not to sign and go to Chelsea, it does like it's a bit it's quite annoying because obviously losing out on a London rival isn't nice always. I mean, they had it before with Felix.
yeah,
We lost out on Felix, and now we lost out on Mudryk. Chelsea just swipe in and take. This is the problem. Todd Bowley is private equity. All that his investors want is a return on investment. They don't mind how much money they pump into his club. So if they don't mind what kind of money they pump into the club, he has unlimited funds, so he can just splash all the cash. Like for example, with
right.
Mudryk, we put in what £95 million total bid in the package, and then Bowley
Yeah,
comes in, flies into Poland, bids 100 million package, and then apparently gives Mudryk double the wages or something crazy like
triple.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
because he can afford to. That's it. Because as much as Mudryk wanted to come to Arsenal and say, "Oh, I like Arsenal, I like the project," money talks in the day of football. Money talks.
right, right, right. Yeah, I mean, Rumor is that we offered about 40 to 50K a week, and Chelsea came in and they offered about 200K a week. I mean, here's the thing, like, in my opinion, it's one of those things where, I mean, we could throw it back to like the Lamar days, right? Like, I really wanted Lamar, and now I'm blessed that we didn't get him, right?
Yeah.
I really wanted Rafinha, and now I'm blessed that we kind of didn't get him. Like, there's those moves that, like, it seems like Edu and Arteta are just consistently getting correct. And I mean, when it comes to paying 100 mil up front and then paying that player 200K, and he's only scored 12 goals in 3 or 4 years with Shakhtar, like, at that point, it's like,
it's proven, sure.
Go ahead, Chelsea. Do what you need to do. Obviously, look at the João Felix thing. He comes, now he's banned for 3 games, and they're in 10th place. Like, what's that project look like for them? You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have him for 6 months, and you can't do anything after that. So it's very confusing, the business that Chelsea is doing. And I know there's a lot of spoiled brats on Twitter that are Arsenal fans, and they're pissed that we didn't get Mudryk. But here, look, man, like, if you go and you look at the list of the signings that Edu has brought in, like, you got to respect the man, and you got to, like, feel confident that he's doing the right thing, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, the thing with Chelsea is they paid 11 million for that loan for Felix, 6 months, and as soon as he signed the 6-month loan, he signed a contract extension with Atletico till 2027.
Atletico.
So they only have him for 6 months. He's got a 3-match ban now. That's literally 2.1 million loss because he's out for a month.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no point. Now they've spent £100 million on a player that isn't proven in the Premier League. I mean, when we bid 70 million, I said that should be our limit, our max, that we go for a player like Mudryk. And then they started in 95 million, and I was like, hold on a minute, let's reevaluate. As much as I like Mudryk, and I like his like highlight reels. Anyone can look good on highlight reels, I'll say that. But seeing Mudryk's price go skyrocket was a bit alarming. So not having him might actually be a blessing in disguise. You never know. If he doesn't work out in the Premier League, us Arsenal fans will be, thank God we saved 95 million. Because there are loads of other options. Because, I mean, recently, you probably saw yesterday or the day before, Trossard, he's put in a transfer request, or he said to Deserbi that he doesn't want to play for Brighton anymore. But Deserbi's removed from the squad, said, I only want players that can play for me, which is similar to Arteta with Aubameyang, saying that I only want players that want to play for the badge. I don't want like nonsense players who just ruin the dressing room, which I understand.
Right.
My only thing with Trossard is he could be a good signing, but then if things turn sour, then we've seen how it can work out with Deserbi and Trossard. There's other options from Brighton as well. There's Matoma. He's quite an exciting player. I don't know if you saw the Liverpool match, but he was lighting up their defense. I mean, I
don't see them getting rid of Matoma just because they're getting rid of Trossard. I see Matoma as the future. I see Matoma as who Deserbi actually wants, and that's why Trossard's finding his way out. If that makes sense.
That would make sense. It really depends, because if we can somehow get a decent bid in and convince the player, you never know what can happen these days. I mean, I've said
that's true.
I'll say it now. I've said it in the past. Money talks in football. As much as we want players to come to the club, I think the era of players wanting to come to a club and being allowed to go to the club, that era is over. I think clubs just don't care anymore. They're just after the money, which for Shakhtar would make sense because in Ukraine, obviously the wars affected their club. So they would, and FIFA, they allowed the foreign players to leave on a free contract for free transfer. Yeah. So they got no money from there. So it makes sense what Shakhtar were doing. They're scummy, but it makes sense financially for them, I guess. Another option would be Zaha. Wilfred Zaha. He's coming to the end of the contract. He's a bit on the age side, sure, but he's got a lot of Premier League experience. He's Premier League proven. You never know. In Arteta's system, he could be a player that he performs even better than he does at Palace under Vieira.
Right.
That was one of another option. Leao, that was a big thing two weeks ago at the start of the window. Everyone was saying, "Oh, maybe we sign Leao," because he even said in an interview. He said in an interview that, I really like the way Arteta plays and Arteta ball, but the signing fee would be. I don't think they'll be ready to pay that much money for Leao at the moment.
No.
I think I think that's going to be a summer signing rather than a January transfer signing. I mean, you rarely ever see. You rarely ever see £100 million players come in January.
There's a couple of names that I'm hearing, and I'm just going to spit them out. In one, I want you to tell me how you feel about them. In two, I want you to tell me if you're hearing things about them, and what are the chances of them actually happening. So obviously, I'm going to talk about the summer ones, right? So here are the summer ones. You're thinking about like Tielemans. You're thinking about Gundogan. You're also thinking about like Trossard possibly in the summer or now. And you kind of touched on that as well. And then when it comes to January, I'm hearing Ferran Torres. I'm hearing Rafinha. I'm hearing Leroy Sané. I know you kind of touched on Leao. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm hearing about Diaby from Leverkusen. These are just names that obviously I think they're just getting thrown up. Marcus Thuram. So tell me what you've heard about all of those names. Tell me who you prefer, and what do you think is going to happen in January. And then in terms of the summer, go ahead and tell me, is Tielemans actually going to wait for us and come? Is Gundogan going to make the transfer from City to Arsenal? There's rumors about other players coming in the summer. So kind of just tell me what you think and tell me what you hear.
Okay. A long list of players for me to remember. I'll try my best.
Yeah.
First was Tielemans. Right, Tielemans, centre mid, box-to-box midfielder. Not the Partey backup that people were saying. He's not the standard CDM, number 6 role. He's not that kind of player. He's a very box-to-box kind of Xhaka kind of midfielder. So, I mean, if we're bringing in a Xhaka, we need a Xhaka replacement 100%. I don't think Lokonga can cut it. I'll be real. Lokonga needs time to develop. Lokonga's too young.
Yeah.
I'd say he's too scared on the ball. All he does, he gets the ball and he gets a bit frightened and he passes it back. And he passes it on to someone like El Neni who slows the play down. Don't get me wrong, I love it. I love El Neni. He's a quality squad player. He said that he wants to finish his career at Arsenal. But yeah, I think Tielemans, if we could bring him in the summer, it'll be great on a free. Although Brendan Rodgers did say in his press conference that he wants all the players that want to leave Leicester, he wants them to go straight away in January. I don't see Arsenal paying, I don't know, what is it, 12, maybe even 12 million when they can get him free in the summer. I don't see Arsenal doing that business. When they know that Tielemans has a place in the squad. Next was Gundogan. I think Gundogan would be a great signing for Arsenal because he's, again, a really, really good squad player. He can be used in rotations. He's happy. Like the whole thing goes about Pep roulette. Pep chooses who he wants to play in certain games. And, Foden plays right wing sometimes, sometimes in the midfield. He's rotating it because that's such good squad depth. I think getting Gundogan would be so hard for Arsenal, I'll be real. Because I think he's number one. I think he's underrated in Pep's squad. He's not talked about enough. He won them he won them the league last season, didn't he? With that last minute goal. Yeah. He's a quality squad player. I've never ever seen him complain or say anything bad about anything in the team. He doesn't get played, doesn't complain. He plays, doesn't complain. He puts a really good shift in. But I think that Pep recognises that as well, and he won't want to let one of his players go, especially after he's let Zinchenko and Jesus go to Arsenal. Zinchenko's a massive drop-off in their left-back situation. I'll be completely real. I think City fans, I listened to some City podcasts the other day, and they were saying that Zinchenko was a massive bit of their left-back, because he can drift into midfield, can't he? Like we've seen in Arsenal, Xhaka comes into the left-back role, Zinchenko goes into the midfield. That I think should happen at City, and now they don't have it as much when they're playing with Cancelo and Walker.
Yeah.
Who was next?
And then after that, we're talking about January signings. So the names that I'm hearing are Ferran Torres, Leroy Sané, Rafinha, Marcus Thuram, Diaby, Declan Rice. I've heard that come up. Jude Bellingham, not really.
I think Bellingham's I think a stretch for Arsenal, because I mean the fee would be enormous for Bellingham. I don't think we're at the stage yet. We haven't even got Champions League for the past 15 years.
Right.
So I don't think we're in a position to start spending 150 million or whatever, 130 million for Jude Bellingham. The salary would be enormous, because we know what kind of quality he is for his age, and his fee would be 150 million. And I don't think Arsenal, that blows our entire summer budget. Declan Rice, they're reporting roughly 88 million for Declan Rice. They were looking at, if West Ham get relegated, the price could drop massively. So I think that's a good summer signing. I mean, we saw in one of the interviews when we played West Ham, as soon as Declan Rice got off Sky, he went and hugged Arteta. So some Arsenal fans reading into that. So I'm not. January transfers, I'd say it's a difficult one, because we've seen it before in last January. Remember, we chased Vlahovic for the whole of January last year. Well, this And then
Yeah.
on the 30th, he goes on 30th of January or whatever, he goes to
Yeah.
Juventus, and then us Arsenal fans sitting here like, you traced one player that entire window, didn't get him, and look what happened. We didn't get top four. We had to play the entire rest of the season without a proper solid striker. Yeah, we had Nketiah, but Nketiah needed time to develop. Lacazette was not firing at all. Let's be real,
No.
missing chances, and Nketiah wasn't getting started. Didn't start. Lacazette would start almost every game. Nketiah gets scored in the last 20 minutes to try and make a difference. He didn't really get into the game in 20 minutes.
Right.
We've seen now when you start Nketiah, he scores brilliant goals. I mean, some of the goals he was scoring. He scored some vital goals for Arsenal recently. I mean, when you think we might miss Jesus because the link-up play, Nketiah is a different kind of player. Nketiah has a natural eye for goal. Jesus has he's a lot more. I think he's more skillful, definitely. On the ball, he's much better. But that's the reason why he gets so many assists. Yeah, much more playmaker.
Yeah.
He'd suit that Odegaard role so well. Him and Odegaard link up was really, really, really like brilliant. But yeah, Nketiah, I think because Jesus has been left out of that link up play, and Nketiah has been like left as a lone striker up top, I think that's allowed Odegaard to be a better player. Because in the past, Jesus would be doing all that link up play and the assists. Now that responsibility goes to Odegaard, and he can showcase his skills. So yeah. In January, I just don't want a repeat of last January. If we don't sign anyone, we're not going to win the league. I'll be real. We're not winning the league if we don't sign anyone. Because I don't see if we can. Go on.
So the names of like Leroy Sané, right? Diaby, Thuram, Rafinha, kind of touch on a little bit on them, and then just let's wrap it up with who do you think one is the best fit, and then who do you think is going to make their way to Arsenal?
Tough one. Ferran Torres would be a good signing because he's worked with Arteta in the past at Manchester City. So we saw that. Arteta's a big fan of him, I've heard. He's great player, Ferran Torres, but he just hasn't reached the same limit as he was here at City. Here in Manchester. I'd say Moussa Diaby. I don't know much about him. I just know what the club he plays for. I've seen some clips of Diaby, but I don't think we're going to have much contact with him, so I don't think we're going to sign him. Yeah. Rafinha, we've opened up interest in Rafinha. That's been reported by loads of publications. Arteta and Arsenal are pushing to explore signing Rafinha again. He scored 2 goals in 15 appearances, maybe. So that's shocking. I personally, as an Arsenal fan, I don't want Rafinha because he rejected the club in the first place. He said, "I don't want to come to Arsenal. I want to go to Barcelona." And now Barcelona's not worked out. He's thinking, "Oh, maybe I should have gone to Arsenal." If you reject Arsenal once, I don't want you. I'm sorry. I want players that play for the bag, not players that are coming in for the money like Mudryk would, or something like that. Yeah. Realistically, I think this January maybe we sign. I genuinely think the amount of interest they're showing in Rafinha, we may actually get Rafinha, and we need a striker. We're looking for wide forwards, but I think the thing that we need to enforce is that striker role. We have Balogun on loan. He's playing so well in France. He's up there with Messi and Mbappe with the goals. He's like 4th, I think, in Liga. Nuno Tavares as well, brilliant. He should be converted from a left back to a left wing. Option that we, because I'm sorry, he can't defend, but going forward he's excellent.
No.
So I think that those options we could look at in January, bringing those guys back. But I'd say most of our activity, I'll be real, is going to be inside the summer transfer window. It's going to be probably maybe Declan Rice, Tielemans. But the Independent have reported that this was about 5 minutes ago that Arsenal are still looking to make 2 new signings, two new signings this January. So who knows what those 2 signings would be? I think we're still going to sign a wide forward, whether that be Ferran Torres or Rafinha. I don't know. And then I think the issue for me is Martinelli and Saka. You've seen them get hit so many times and get knocked around here and there every single game. And they get back up and they're fit. They're fine. But Partey gets hit sometimes, and then we won't see him for 2-3 weeks. So I think that's a position we have to reinforce. He's the spine of the team. If Partey gets injured, we lose matches. Partey's fit, we win. But I think that most of the activity for the big players like Declan Rice and someone like Tielemans would be in the summer. January, I only see us signing maybe Trossard. maybe Rafinha and Ferran Torres. One of them three. I don't see
Yeah, well,
Arsenal signing anyone else.
and it's confusing because like right before the January window opened, you heard Cedric is leaving. You
Yeah,
heard
it's full of.
El Neni is probably going to leave. You've heard all of this, and there's literally been zero movement from Arsenal, and it makes me wonder if it's like, one, is Arteta just like, I'm good with the squad, you know what I mean? Like, I'm happy with the squad. We're top of the Prem. We're doing well in Europa, so. And two, it's you said two signings. If the two signings, it could be Tielemans, it could be a Trossard, it could be a Ferran Torres. I don't really see them going for a central forward, even though we need it. I think Nketiah is doing a great job, and then it seems like we're about a month and a half, maybe no, just a month, right? Would it be a month that Jesus comes back fit?
Yeah. He comes out on 15th February, so yeah, exactly a month.
Yeah, so I don't see them going for a central forward. I think they just need that wide man because I don't think Marquinhos has worked out. I think they want to send Marquinhos out on a couple loans, send Lokonga out on a couple loans, and just kind of see where that goes.
Marquinhos
But
will develop into a
we'll
great
wrap
winger,
it up.
honestly. I think
Yeah, yeah,
Marquinhos will
yeah, yeah,
develop
yeah,
into a
one
great
hundred
winger
percent.
because, I mean, on his debut, a goal and assist in the Europa League. Admittedly, it weren't against the best opponents, but he's still got a goal and assist in his
Yeah,
debut. And what is he, 19 something? So if he develops, he can develop
yeah,
like that.
right, yeah. At that age, it could be just a confidence thing. But just to wrap this episode up a little bit, who's the one player that you want us bringing in?
This January,
Yes.
um, realistically, who I would want, because I'd want someone like Bellingham or something. Um, I'd probably say realistically, I want. It's a tricky one. I'm gonna have to say. I'm gonna have to say. I think Trossard. I think I'm gonna have to say Trossard because he's Premier League proven. He won't be too expensive. He wants to leave
Right.
Brighton. He'll be on higher wages. He'll be playing in Europe. And he's a
Yeah.
bit older, but that brings experience. I think we need experience in this team. We're a very young team, and I think if you want to succeed, you need that kind of experience and of doing really,
Yeah.
really well. Trossard's had a brilliant start to the season, really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great signing for Arsenal. Trossard coming in.
No, right. Yeah, yeah. So Trossard, I think, is a great signing too. In my opinion, I think just in terms of age and just level, I would rather go Ferran Torres because Ferran Torres could play out wide and then he can play centrally
That's
as
true.
well.
That's true.
So I would say Ferran Torres, but if we don't get Ferran Torres because of price or whatever it is, Trossard was on fire right before. He basically said, "I want out of Brighton," so he's still in form. Yeah, bring him in. I mean, bring somebody in at this point. You know what I mean? Just bring
Yeah,
someone in that fits
bring
our
someone
mold
in
and can
that
play. And
yeah, someone who wants to play for the club and someone who fits into the Arteta style because we've seen it. Any wide forward, in my opinion, it might be controversial. Arteta's the best manager for wide forwards. If you look at his development
yeah,
of
yeah,
all
yeah.
wide forwards from City to now, he is the best in the world at developing these kind of players. We have Martinelli, one of the best left wingers in the league. Saka, the best
Right.
right winger in the league. He's
Yep.
developed someone like Ferran Torres. He's developed so many City wingers, like Sane, he worked with, and Gnabry. And
Yeah.
it's just insane. His development on wide forwards is nuts. So any winger, wide forward that wants to come to Arsenal, I think they'll do a great job.
Right. Cool, man. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for kind of giving us the lowdown on what's going to happen in the transfer window. Thank you for kind of
One more
biting your
thing.
tongue on the whole Mudryk situation. Yes.
One more thing. North London Derby. It's in 2 hours, I think. Yeah. North London Derby.
Yeah, yeah.
Predictions? What do you think?
We'll get to that. Hold on. We'll get to that. All right. So yeah, thank you again for January. Thank you for biting your tongue on how you really feel about Mudryk. And yeah, man, I'm excited to see kind of how these next 2 weeks pan out with the January window and see what kind of signings that we bring in. Hopefully, Edu is actually cooking that barbecue that everyone keeps showing.
Yeah.
But yeah. As far as me, again, I'm Abe. Go ahead, follow me on Twitter at CEO Soccer Gooner or Teta's Black Sweater. And then go ahead, man.
Yeah, and I'm Daniel. Follow me at __ on Twitter. You're plugged for all the local news in London here and football. Mainly Arsenal content, but covers the entire Premier League.
Yep. Again, Daniel, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure of having you as a guest. Having someone from inner city in London feels great, man. And again, thank you.
Yeah.
And to everyone, subscribe, follow us on Twitter. Do what's needed. All right, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
I know you love this podcast, so do what's needed. All right. And to that, we say enjoy that North London Derby, and we'll see you then.
See you then.